Welcome to the High Adventure Scouting Podcast. This is the source for all things high adventure for scouts, scouters, and anyone else interested in promoting high adventure trips for our youth. You can find all kinds of great high adventure options for your scouts at highadventurescouting.com. We are constantly updating the list of cool trips, and we want your input on your best trip. All right, welcome, high adventure enthusiasts. We're excited, as always, to highlight a high adventure base on this edition of the High Adventure Scouting Podcast. Today, we're joined by Griffin Linehan, Camp Director for Lenhok'sin High Adventure Base. Lenhok'sin is located at the Goshen Scout Reservation in Goshen, Virginia. Griffin, thanks for joining us today on the High Adventure Scouting Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
All right. Now, I looked on the website. Looks like a lot of people call you Griff. Is that Griff or Griffin, or what's your preference?
I go by Griff typically.
Cool, awesome. Now, I understand you've been very involved in scouting for a long time and have a long history of working in scout camps. Is that correct?
I do.
All right.
Been involved since Cub Scouts. So I grew up in the Chicagoland area, just in the northwest suburbs, back when before the pathway to Adventure Council, which takes up a lot of the Chicagoland area, before that council became what it is now in Northwest Suburban Council. And I was in Cub Scouts, kind of got uninvolved in Cub Scouts for a little bit, and then I rejoined in Boy Scouts, and that started my scouting career, mostly through summer camps. I made Eagle, thankfully. That was a really big accomplishment for myself, but ever since graduating college, I've worked at Boy Scout camps all over the country. I started out when, it seems like a long time ago, but back when I just turned 13 the week before I went up to the scout camp to work, and I volunteered. I volunteered for the entire summer, came back, volunteered again for the next summer. So I had 2 summers of volunteering. I was up away from my parents, away from my family for 8.5 weeks. And I just fell in love with working with scouts, working with the youth out there, teaching those merit badges, going through the program. After I left that Boy Scout camp, which was Nap-One Adventure Base in Wild Rose, Wisconsin, I did a little bit of a tour, volunteered at a few Boy Scout camps across the country. Then I eventually ended up working out at Philmont for quite a bit of some time. And I actually, I was in the backcountry department. So I worked quite a bit with the Mountain Man programs out there, the Wild West town known as Poneal. That's a big favorite for everyone. And additionally, I worked my way up and I was on the backcountry administration out there. Following that, I was planning on retiring, so to say, from my summer career of working at a Boy Scout camp because I graduated college and I thought, okay, have to move on with my life a little bit. I was involved in Scouts through college because I was part of Epsilon Tau Pi. Epsilon Tau Pi is the National Eagle Scout fraternity. So I went to the University of Dayton for my undergraduate degree. I was the president for Epsilon Tau Pi, the Alpha chapter at the University of Dayton. And from there, I actually became the Midwest Regional Director for the National Eagle Scout Fraternity. So I helped with different chapters all throughout the Midwest. But again, like I was saying, I was planning on retiring from my summer career, so to say. But a buddy of mine from college, he was actually the Associate Reservation Director. Good guy by the name of Matt Hansen. He recruited me and he said, "Hey, come on up. We have this high adventure program. We think it'd be a good fit for you." And long story short, I ended up driving up into Goshen, Virginia, and that was 3 years ago, and I haven't left since.
Must be a good place.
I enjoy my time there.
That's great. Well, I wanted to give everybody an overview of kind of your background and where you come from and what your experiences have been in the past. And, the purpose of this podcast is really to give listeners a little more information about your program offerings and yourself. I'm sure many outside your regional area don't know much about your programs. Being from the Midwest, where I'm from and where I'm at right now, I'd never heard of this particular high adventure program, and I think this is it looks like some great options, and that's so we jump right in and kind of talk about the programs and see what you guys offer. So what kind of programs are offered as a part of the high adventure base?
Well, we got quite a bit. So, like you said, we're part of Goshen Scout Reservation, which is part of the National Capital Area Council. We're located on 400, excuse me, 4,500 acres, and around that property, we have 3 different Boy Scout camps. We have 2 Cub Scout camps, and 1 high adventure base, which is Lenhok'sin High Adventure. Um, Within that property, we have a 450-acre lake. That's a private lake. You won't see anyone else besides Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts on that lake. So it's called Lake Meriwether. Great lake. It's beautiful on a great day. But we offer 2 main treks at the High Adventure Base. So I like to call it a land or an aquatic trek. And the whole idea behind these 2 treks is to prep crews that are thinking about going to either Northern Tier or Philmont as sort of a stepping stone to get into that program. Mentally prepare, because from my time working out at Philmont, I definitely saw crews all across the spectrum that were prepared. They knew what they were doing. They did tons of shakedown hikes, but I also saw crews that this was their first time really stepping out of their comfort zone, being on the trail for 12 plus days. And you can imagine some crews worked really well, some crews had a little more than others. So that's what we were really trying to offer with our programs that we offer. We have, like I said, the land-based trek, which is a week long. It's not as long as you'll see at Philmont, but it's a stepping stone. So with our with our trek-based high adventure, we have tons of different programs that we can. We have to start. We have different outposts. So we have a cope, a high elements, similar to a cope challenge event that you'll find at any high adventure Boy Scout camp across the country. We offer that. We do offer high elements and low elements. In addition to cope, we have a caving outpost where scouts can essentially go spelunking underground. And that's really, really cool. When I came out to Goshen, it was the first time I've ever been in a cave, and it's something that's very hard to get out of my system right now. In addition to that, we have Foxfire. Foxfire is a 1900s Appalachian forge. So it's an interpretive outpost. My staff dress up in interpretive gear and pretend they're from the 1900s, and they lead the scouts through making knives, S-hooks, and they run a program out there that enhances and talks about life in the Appalachians in the 1900s. In addition to Foxfire, we have Mountain Man, very similar. One of the camps that I ran out at Philmont was a Mountain Man, so we try to use this as parallel to Miranda, Clear Creek that you would see at Philmont. So it talks a lot about the fur trappers, not in the West, but in the East. So it's set in the early 1800s. It is a interpretive outpost as well. So we got a really great mountain man out there. His name's Jeff. He's from Florida. He looks like a mountain man, sounds like a mountain man, acts like a mountain man. Even if you ran into him on the street, you'd be like, that guy's a mountain man. But really great hire. He came up from Florida, and he travels all across the country and goes to mountain man rendezvous just as a hobby. So we're really excited to have Jeff out there at our mountain man outpost. We also have a mountain biking outpost. So scouts will go on a mountain bike ride. And that can be a lot of fun because everyone, for the most part, knows how to ride a bike, but they don't always go on some of the rugged trails that they might experience back home. So we have a mountain sports outpost. We have a paddle sports outpost where that's located on our 450-acre lake, and scouts can paddle on stand-up paddle boards around the lake. Scouts can also use kayaks and kayak along the lake. They can go swimming. They can play beach volleyball. It's a really great outpost, and it's located in one of the prettiest spots on reservation. Now, I'm not done yet because got three more. And again, this is just our land hiking based trek. We have Robin Hood, which Robin Hood is another interpretive um,
Wow.
outpost that we have. It is set back in, gosh, I want to say the 1500s, uh, around the time Robin Hood and his merry men would have uh, roamed the lands of England. So it's an interpretive archery outpost. We have throwing knives there. It's a really cool outpost. But Robin Hood's located in a really nice shaded
Okay.
portion of the reservation, so it's really nice. Scouts can lay down at night. They usually enjoy some stories from the staff, a little bit of campfire, and they enjoy typically some cobbler. We also have a rock climbing outpost where scouts can climb on a natural rock face. And some of the outposts we even offer a pancake breakfast. So chocolate chip pancakes or a cinnamon pancake breakfast, and that's usually a big hit. Uh, this year, I'm really excited to announce this is the first time I'm actually talking to anyone besides the my staff about this idea. But we're launching a search and rescue outpost. So in the past few weeks, I've been searching online for uh, several wrecked cars, and what we're going to do with that at this search and rescue outpost. Uh, we're going to put scouts' first aid skills and emergency response skills to the test. It's going to be a scenario where scouts can pick the. It's going to be a situation where scouts are going to pick the scenarios that they want to participate in. One could be a car crash. So that's what I was doing, searching for cars online that are wrecked, so to say. And we're going to incorporate it with some makeup to simulate as real life as it could be scenarios, lost scout drills, broken bones. We're going to simulate. We're going to try and simulate as much as we can, just to put some of the scouts' wilderness first aid skills to the test. So I'm really excited about that outpost. Something that Lenhok'sin has never experienced before. So we're really excited about that.
That's
In
interesting. I've never heard of any option like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's been an idea I've been throwing around for a while, and I'm really excited about it. It's the first year we're running it. Back in the '70s, Lynn Hawkson ran something similar, but not on the scale that it is right now that we're planning. So we're really excited about it, and we're just seeing where it can go. That's what I think makes a great high adventure base. Just testing, seeing what's the new, what's the latest thing, what's going to make those gears move. Like I said earlier, that's my drive, and I'm excited to see how this program will develop. This program will enhance not only the scout skills the scouts learn, but everyday preparedness for you're walking down the street back home and you see a car crash or you see someone injured. How are you going to respond in those crisis situations, so to say?
Oh, oh, absolutely, absolutely. And interesting talking about prep for Northern Tier and Philmont and things like that. And we just took a crew up to Northern Tier this past summer, and we had difficulty finding opportunities to get ready for that. I mean, how many ways can you get out on a lake and
How many
and
times
canoe? So that's
can you
cool.
around the lake? Yeah.
Yeah, it's and that we had difficulty preparing for that. So it took a couple days to really get comfortable. with everything, and that's a good way to do that, because that's a long trip,
It is.
and when you're out the boundary waters, or even just a boundary waters trip itself outside of northern tier, they're both just as difficult. So that sounds like a cool option. That's neat. So, um, is the high adventure base, is that a part of, are all these a part of the regular camp, um, and or is it separate from the camp, or is it part of the camp, or what's the makeup
So
of high
we
adventure?
have our own base camp located on Goshen Scout Reservation. So we act separate from the rest of the camp, but we work with a lot of the other camps as well. So we have some trails that may hike past the Cub Scout camp, or hike along the shoreline of the lake, which may cross briefly just through one of the central trails of a Boy Scout camp. But the really cool thing I think about our camp is, uh, Goshen as a whole. We're located in the George Washington National Forest, so we. I hate to say another program. I know what you're thinking, Rob, but another program that we have um, is a primitive night. So
Uh-huh.
scouts can go and hike into the George Washington National Forest. One of the first days that scouts get there, they will uh, plan plan their route. Um, this is similar when you get here. You'll go through the standard med checks, sort of a round robin to make sure you know what you're doing when you're on the trail. So you're not going out there blind. But scouts will plan their itinerary. They'll look at the map. They'll say, okay, I need to go from point A to point B. I need to go from the Robin Hood outpost to the Mountain Man outpost. How am I going to get to and from those locations? And they'll look at all the trails. At that point, we'll update them on any water conditions. We'll update them on trail conditions. Hey, this trail up here, it's not the best. A storm came through and knocked a bunch of trees down, so you don't want to take this one. You want to take this route. But within that, scouts can actually plan to hike off property into the George Washington National Forest trails through the U.S. Forest Preserve. So that's a really great partnership and a really great opportunity for scouts to get off the grid, so to say.
That sounds cool. Yeah. We all know the major high adventure bases around the country, and they offer some awesome programs. Have you been searching for a cool alternative from your typical high adventure trip? As a scout leader, I want to give our scouts some great alternatives. You need to check out highadventurescouting.com. You'll find information on over 30 different council high adventure bases in 24 states. Maybe you're looking for a do-it-yourself option and need some ideas. Maybe you've taken a great trip and you want to share your good fortune with your fellow scouts and scouters. Just send us the details and we'll publish your trip. Whatever your interest, highadventurescouting.com is the one-stop shop for all things high adventure. That's highadventurescouting.com. Do many units come to one of the traditional summer camps and have boys that want to be a part of the high adventure program during that week, or do you see more just standalone crews from a troop come and do these programs, or a little of all of it?
Well, I'd say we see a little bit of both. We definitely have our fair share of crews that uh, part of their crew, so to say, the younger scouts, go to Camp Bowman, Camp Olmsted, or Camp Marriott, which is one of our Boy Scout camps. But we also do see we have a lot of crews that have part of their crews attend one of our Boy Scout camps and send their older scouts to us at the High Adventure Base. You see a lot of that. We also do have a lot of crews that will just come to us that have never been before. This past year, we had a crew from South Carolina come up and use us as a prep for Philmont, and it was really great to see them. They found us online through social media posting, and they did some research. We talked to them, and they decided, hey, I want to come up to Lenhok'sin, see what it's all about. So they came, they had a blast, and they're looking forward. I was talking to one of the scoutmasters a few weeks ago. He sent me an email, and he just said, "Thank you so much for being there, being very supportive, and getting us into a shakedown hike before we hit the trail next summer at Philmont." So we get
That's cool.
a lot of variety in the crews that we see.
That's awesome. Now, with that, is there a minimum or maximum size for, let's say, a crew wanted to come out and do like the troop you're talking about? Is there a minimum or maximum size that you need to look at?
There is. So ideally, we would like in between uh, 8 to 12. That's the ideal size of a crew we'd like. We can make some accommodations here or there. If that's the case, I'd ask the crew just reach out to us directly. Um, we had one crew this past year from West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, and they brought, I want to say 25 boys, uh, 25 participants. I'm sorry,
Wow.
and
Right.
they they wanted to hike together and be at the same outposts together, which is perfectly fine. But we had to sit down with them and say, "Hey, this is not ideal for the trails because uh, when
Right.
taking a crew that size into account, we're also looking at the conditions of our trails. We're looking at leave no trace quite a bit, being the scouters that we are, and a crew of 25 uh, scouters hiking along, that unfortunately doesn't really bode well for the trail or bode well for uh, following LNT principles. So we made sure they hiked separately and they could camp together at night. Um, so we see,
Right. Right. I can understand that. That's a big group to
was
manage
it
too.
was a
So.
pretty fun scheduling fiasco, organizing as I call it,
I'll bet.
organized.
We yeah, we've done that with our troop before, and it's just too many to manage. So we split them up into like Philmont, 8 to 12. That's kind of the perfect size. So um, now, I obviously you said that there's troops that will come and they'll have their older boys come to you guys, part of high adventure area. So I'm guessing that's more. We consider that provisional, but so you can kind of put them into a particular crew together with other
Correct.
boys, right? Okay, cool. That's awesome. Uh, where we're at, we like I mentioned earlier, we would have never thought of coming out that direction. But what's the geographic makeup of the participants and people that come to your high adventure base? Do they come from regionally on the East Coast, or do you see troops
I'd
from all
say
over the
typically
country?
from the East Coast, a lot of West Virginians, a lot of North Carolina, Kleinens, people from North Carolina. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know what you call them. I'm sure I'll get some suggestions
let me
after
know,
this. So,
please. That's why I teach science, not social studies. But we get
right,
a
right,
lot of
right. So,
few crews from Pennsylvania, but majorly Virginia, the DC area, um, Maryland. We get a lot of crews from that area. This summer, which was pretty exciting, Goshen Scout Reservation actually had about 9,000 Germans come from Germany. Yeah, yeah.
oh my
Talk about the
goodness,
scheduling nightmares that I was talking about earlier a little bit. It worked out, but
wow,
because of the World Scout Jamboree being at the summit, which is just down the road, we were
right,
kind of a
right.
staging area. So uh, we had about 9,000 Germans.
That's cool.
So that might
Wow,
have been
that's
a little
cool. That's
further than
cool.
you might
So,
have imagined, but
well, I can understand with the World Jamboree being not that far away. So that's, or at least closer than Germany. So now, if units want to reserve, spots, how early do the typical units or scouts reserve spots with the high adventure
Typically,
program?
around January is when we see troops start to reserve um, spots based on week. Um, our early bird
Right.
fee registration date ends in the middle of March. So if people want to take advantage of that
Okay.
early bird discount for youth, uh, early March is when they need to register by. But we typically start seeing spaces
Cool.
fill up January, even some in December.
Okay, that's kind of what I was curious is what's the typical filling up on the date. So that's about what it is most places. So and you guys provide the tents and equipment, or do
So
crews have
crews
to
do need
bring
to
those
bring
with
their
them?
tents and equipment. We provide the food. We make
Right.
trail meals for the participants that come. Sort of similar to Philmont, like I said, you're issued a food bag. Uh, Here's your Monday lunch, and it's based around the buddy system. So I may give you Thursday dinner, and that Thursday dinner is for you and someone else. So that way you can split the food between uh, days, and everyone's not carrying all that weight. Additionally, we do have resupply halfway through the
Exactly.
week. So Wednesday morning, when you leave your outpost and you arrive at your outpost for the night, your food from Thursday lunch to Friday dinner will be with you at the outpost you arrive for that particular night.
Yeah, I did see that you've got some really interesting, unique awards, like a patch that you can only get by going through one of the uh, the treks, kind of like Philmont or Northern Tier or some of the other places. So that's kind of cool.
We have several awards. We have the Lenhok'sin High Adventure patch. If you complete a trek at Lenhok'sin, whether it's the river trek or the hiking trek, you get the Lenhok'sin patch. We have the Trailblazer award, and that's we have various requirements for that, but it's for those crews that are very committed to hiking and staying on the trail and not taking as many of the leisure opportunities that you may encounter while hiking around a scout camp, such as visiting the trading post at a Boy Scout camp and refueling on slushies. So that Trailblazer award is we have the Big Butt award.
I was going to
Um,
ask about that. I think that's I'd love to get that one just to have it. So
it is a award that we give for scouts and crews that hike a mountain called Big Butt. I'm not kidding. There is really a mountain. It's in George Washington National Forest, just off our property, called Big Butt. And I always make the joke of, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the behind to. And they're like,
Absolutely.
hey, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Think about it, and then you forget it.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm sure boys or scouts and leaders alike like to go home and tell mom that they won the Big Butt Award. So that's got to be fun. So,
definitely.
well, I mean, you've given a lot of information. Any other cool and interesting facts about the High Adventure Base that you kind of want to share, or have you covered it all?
Um, Honestly, I could sit here talk for hours, and you might be falling asleep while I'm doing it, or not.
That's all right.
But
I'll edit it all out for everybody. So,
fair enough. Uh, but it's a really great camp. I've worked at a lot of scout camps, like I mentioned before, across the country, and I really do feel at home here. We have a really great dedicated staff, and
and that
if
was
I'm
I'm sorry, that was one of my last questions about the staff, and you mentioned some of them out in the different program areas are like period people, and you've got mountain men, and are most of the staff a little bit older than the typical summer camp staff? Are they going out on these crews, or are the crews on their own? What's the what's the makeup of your staff?
Gosh, we do have quite a variety. We have staff anywhere from 16 to 79 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we do have um, a lot of college students because that's the workforce of Boy Scout camps all across the country. We have some high school juniors, seniors being in high adventure council high adventure base. We have quite a few outdoor recreation majors. When I say outdoor recreation majors, I mean undergraduate students that have since graduated with a degree in outdoor recreation that come and they work at our COPE out, outpost and various outdoorsy sport type outposts, and that's what they love to do. So they're more than willing, and they're happy to come out for the season and work at our camp because that's what they do year round. They're enjoying what they do. Then we have a few retired individuals that, again, just love working at summer camps. They have a hobby. Like Jeff, my mountain man guy from Florida. He drove all the way up from Florida just for summer camp.
That's pretty cool.
He loves muzzle loading. He loves being a mountain man. And he just does this because he enjoys it. So we have a really hardworking, dedicated staff. And they truly love the camp. They love the program, and they love what they do.
That sounds great. Well, Griff, I appreciate you joining us today and giving some information about High Adventure Base at Lenhok'sin.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Rob.
No problem. Now, I want to thank Griffin Linehan, director of Lenhok'sin High Adventure Base in Goshen, Virginia, for joining us today. You can get more information on their programs at gotogoshen.org. That's GOTOGOSHEN.org. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to tell your friends about this podcast. You can find us online at highadventurescouting.com, on Facebook or Instagram. If you have any questions or ideas for future podcasts, just email us at info@highadventurescouting.com. This podcast and website are independent and not affiliated with any youth organization. Happy high adventure! This has been a production of High Adventure Resources, 2018. All rights reserved.